guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber Fuss from Kyuujin Cosplay. And today we are back with you guys with Cowboy Bebop episode 19.
Yes.
So, last episode was all about memories, old VHS.
Yeah, the boys received a Delta tape from beta tape, sorry.
Beta tape, yeah.
A beta tape that belonged to Faye, and she thought it was like people coming for money and stuff, so she left. And the boys were left trying to find out, how much the tape was, how much they could get from it.
Yeah.
And we found out it was a tape that Faye recorded when she was a kid. In there was a message that she left for her future self. She did not know how long in the future this was going to take.
It was supposed to be 10 years.
Yeah, it turned out to be a lot bigger than that. But still, she recorded it, and at the end, Faye came back and they all watched it together. But now we're jumping in episode 19 and we don't really know where the boys and the gals are gonna go next.
But it's called Wild Horses.
Yes, so I'm excited. We still need money, we still need food, we still need a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
That's the story of their lives. So let's jump in this episode and see what they do next. Don't forget to subscribe, you guys, if you want to see more of these episodes, and check out our Patreon for the full reactions.
Alright, in the meantime, let's go. See you, Space Cowboy.
Space Cowboy. Alright, Wild Horses.
But yeah, I would have not been surprised if this Duhan, that's his name?
The old guy?
Yeah, it could have been her dad. Like, they look so alike, the same
Well,
fashion and stuff.
I don't know, I don't think Spike is a type to really, he doesn't really have a family. He has a found family. Everyone he meets along the way that's helped him, become a companion and stuff. Like, he maybe doesn't consider them family, but I consider them part of his family.
Yeah.
So maybe not his true dad, but he's a figure that
An
helped
uncle.
him.
An uncle.
He gave him the swordfish and he believes in him and stuff, and I think it's great. That makes him a réseau, like a, what's in English?
Network?
A network of useful people he can go back to whenever he needs help, and he saved his life right there. Thank God the machine worked.
Thank God that old radio frequency.
Yeah, and they heard everything. Thank God he listens to baseball. Our dad is a mechanic. We grew up around cars. We grew up around, in a garage, basically. Like, we used to spend a lot of time in the garage and stuff. He loves cars. He loves racing and stuff. Like, he would take us to see movies about it. I've never been the type to, call my car girl or something. I know big, fans of cars, that's what they do. Just in Supernatural, for example, he calls his car Baby.
Yeah.
Baby's a character in the show, so some people do it, and I understand the passion about it. It's just that I've never been the type to do that, but I understand it because we grew up around it.
Do you have something that you call baby, that you just really take really good care of it?
An object?
Yeah.
No, not really.
No?
I've tried.
Not your chair, not your computer?
No.
Not our camera?
No, I don't do that. I call my cats Baby, and that's about it. But I understand the passion behind it because of our dad, so I can put myself in his shoes a little bit and try to imagine, you're driving a car, or in this case a spaceship and stuff, and you have this connection with a machine, but you're the one that takes care of it. You're the one that repairs it. You kind of give it a personality of its own. Like, if it reacts a certain way, if
she wants to throw you out next time.
Kind of like you can treat it like a horse, sort of. Like, you're the one driving it, but the machine does what it wants. Like, if it's the type of machine that when you spend time with the machine, you know how it works perfectly. So if you know not to step on the gas too much because the machine is gonna, react a certain way, it's you add that to the personality of the machine. So the old man to me is kind of like that. He gives personalities to his machines and he treats them nice, and when he speaks of them, he's like, they'll speak to me. I understand them because it's like it's not like a machine like that reacts to what I do. It's me who reacts to what they do. They do what they want, and I help them along. So I would freak out more over an actual horse. I've always loved horses, but if you mix the two together, to be on or in a machine on a horse, you know, that does what it wants, that has the speed, that makes you feel powerful and kind of invincible for a moment. It would be crazy. When I was a kid, I didn't dream, but I would think, you know, maybe doing race car driving when I was really young. And I was like, the feeling you get, like when people would describe it, the feeling you get when you're behind the wheel of something that goes really fast and you lose kind of all sense of reality and everything becomes about the race, about the drive and stuff. Like it sounds really peaceful, even though it's fucking crazy. So when you hear people talk about that, it sounds like meditation, sort of, even though the stress must be intense. So that's kind of how I see them driving their spaceships. You know, they consider it a companion. They get attached to it. They know how it works. Especially Spike, he used to be.
They
really
get insulted when people said that they're old and tattered and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean space travel, especially, like these machines are powerful, and I mean to have characters like the old man who work on very old relics and stuff. And people judge them for it. Like, why don't you just change it? Well, if it ain't broke, why change it? You know.
It ain't broke because it keep taking care of it. That's
like
why.
It's not because people have made something else that the old stuff doesn't work anymore and that it can perform, and it's, you know, it's not because, for example, I'll take a horse. It's not because a horse can't race that the horse loses its value. You know, it's still an animal. It's still a horse. It still exists. So if you translate that to the machine still exists. It was there. It used to do great things.
Well,
to forget about it and move on, it's kind of disrespectful to the people who created it and to the stuff it can do if you have respect for machines.
Just like a cars collector, people collect really like old car, like in the 60s, 50s, like old models of cars. Some of them are really valuable because they're kind of rare. You know?
Collectors would collect rare cars.
Really? There's a beauty in it. You know?
Oh, in the rare stuff.
Yeah, with old stuff, you know.
Well, just with the VHS last episode we saw, you know, stuff from the past, first of all, that has a value, but it's also the memory of it. You know, it's to remember that there used to be a time where these things would fly and people would work on it, and this used to be what they had, and it doesn't mean it can come in handy. And I think he values the memory of the thing. You know, that's why he has so many photographs of old machines and stuff. Like he's proud about what he has, about what he can do with it, and he respects the machine because it can do a lot of shit. So if you treat it gently, if you know how to maneuver it, it will help you. So yeah, it's kind of similar to when I watch race car movies and just races and stuff. I would be like, the drivers have an attachment to their vehicle, or at least the ones that do, and they speak of it with fondness and stuff. Like the way they speak of it, it's impressive, and it I don't understand it, but I admire it a lot. I'm like, wow, like when you talk about it, you kind of sound really cool.
What I mean, if you think about it, to them, it is a baby. They took care of it, they repaired it, they lived in it every single day.
And like I said, you kind of put a personality to how the machine reacts. Kind of like Spike uses his swordfish a certain way, like, but he's been told to use it differently.
I technically used to be the same with my old car, like with my
the first car I think is special.
Honda.
Yeah, I don't know if
she was old and she didn't really work well, but I call her the beast. She was a beast. I mean,
yeah,
she went through a lot.
She lost a lot and she went down really, really often, but she was a beast.
Not that often. Our Mazda went way more often than mine that did.
In any case, I think my first car was also special in that way. Like, I don't know if for Spike the Swordfish is his first, you know, his baby in the same way. Like if it's his first spaceship or something. But
Spike, take care of it, and he crashes it every single day.
But just like we treat Ein like a member of the crew, we can also add those machines.
The Bebop as a member of the crew.
Sort of, like they care about it. Like you said, they repair it often. They live in it. They use it for work. Like they spend their days with them. So they would grow attached. That's why when you insult them, you know, when you insult the Bebop, like Jet gets mad. You don't call it a piece of shit. Like that piece of shit, he's the one that takes care of it.
It may be a piece of shit, but it is our piece of shit, so respect it.
In any case, so so I mean, like I said, I'm not the type to think like that when it comes to machine, but I always think it's great to hear people talk about it in this way, and I think it's the type of guy who reminds me of our dad a little bit.
He did.
With all the talk of how to treat the machine, how to handle the car and stuff. Like our dad is kind of similar in that way. It was cool. And I mean, again, we add someone to our network of friends that we know. Now we know who they go to whenever they really need to repair shit.
Duhan.
And we know who gave Spike the swordfish.
Duhan.
That
was his name, right? Duhan?
Duran, I don't know.
Not Duran, Duhan.
I call him the old man, it's easier. It is getting late, so I'm really sorry if the conversation is a bit all over the place. We're getting tired, I'm losing my voice, but yeah.
Alright.
So thank you guys so much for watching this episode with us. I love horses. If you want to see more of these, check out our Patreon for the full-length reactions and the future episodes, the next one and the one after.
Yeah.
Link is in the description below.
And if you don't, next one will be on YouTube next week, so stay tuned.
Bye.